with afterwards.
How's it going, sir? Yeah, I can't have you digging through the trash around here, so.
Right now, I'm really gonna talk that shit to you.
Well, you're on a private property.
I'm not gonna fucking stop, dude. I'm gonna you up right now. Do not even fucking look at me, dude. I'm not saying, dude. Away from me. Do you fucking tase me or anything, you're fucking done.
Stop.
Away from me then.
Stop.
Get that light off of me now.
I am recording you.
Now. I'm not fucking playing.
Okay.
Right now,
Stop. Stop.
Don't tell me this. What am I saying to do?
Stop.
What am I saying to do?
Taser, taser, taser. Stop.
I don't give a
Stop.
I'm not playing.
Put your hands behind your back. 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 Do not grab the cuffs. Give me your other hand. Other hand. Other hand. Other hand. Medicine, Sam 3.
Sam 3, go.
I need Metro. I taste somebody at medicine. Can you roll Metro for me, please?
Copy that. Show me around as well.
Copy, sir. Thank you.
Wow. Josh, Michael, want to kind of take it from there? I think it that was quite
Absolutely.
impactful.
Yeah, so I mean that video is just goes to show how quickly things can go from 0 to 100. It can happen just like that. My officer is just doing his patrols, walking around the property. He notices someone's digging in the trash can. He says, "Sir, you know, I can't have you doing that." But the more important thing is he turns on his body cam before he gets there, right? So he has it all on recording, right? And he actually says to the person, "I'm recording you," right? That's another de-escalation strategy as well, letting them know I'm recording you. Also, our body cams, if you do approach somebody and something happens, when you hit the body cam and turn it on, it says verbally out loud recording started. So it lets that person know I'm recording as well. My favorite thing about this whole video is just how calm the officer is. You can tell this officer is very well trained and has been doing it a long time. And he knew, you know, the proper tool to go to. As soon as the guy got aggressive and progressed towards him, he went right to his taser, but he kept his distance. He didn't deploy it right away. He started using verbal commands, right? The guy even threw something at him, threw the trash can at him. My officer tried to use that as a barrier, backed up. The other thing you guys couldn't see is that he was about to run out of space behind him. He was about to go off the property, off the curb, right? So he didn't have any other choice after he backed up 3-4 times. He couldn't back up anymore. So he told the guy, taser, taser, taser. The guy was still being aggressive and he let it fly. And then he did the proper thing by going in with his handcuffs, properly handcuffing the person, getting on the radio, calling for assistance. And he called the supervisor at another property to make the phone call so he didn't have to do it himself, so he can keep the eye on the guy, right? So all this goes into the training of the officer. And also another thing too is he had all of his other less than lethal too. So he knew that if he was backing up, if that taser didn't work for some reason, he had his pepper spray, he had his baton, he had other means to try to de-escalate and detain that person at that point, right? So all this stuff is very important, getting that person trained and getting all the right tools on that person's belt so that they can handle situations like this, because sometimes you can't de-escalate somebody. You can be as sweet and as nice as you want to that person, and they're still going to be nasty and they're still going to want to, you know, do something or fight you or whatever. So you have to be prepared for it, right? And another thing that we do as supervisors is we go around on maybe it's a slower day or whatever, we'll go up to the officer and say, you know, hey, how's it going? And we'll go through some scenario-based training, like, okay, so if this happens, what would you do? Oh, I would go, no. First thing you do is you get on the radio, you call your supervisor, and you turn on your body cam, right? So doing these things, having them envision these things and work through it helps for these situations as well.
So maybe you can, yeah, sorry, go ahead, Josh.
I'm just seeing if I think that's about covers the video.
Yeah, no, that's great. So in terms of the actual training and tools that you go through, I mean, you're talking about online, you're talking about in person. I mean, maybe you can chat a little bit about that.
Yeah, 100%. So first thing, we have our 10 online classes that includes threat de-escalation, conflict resolution, situational awareness, like huge things that everybody should know, not even as as a security standpoint, just on a day-to-day being a person standpoint, people need to know these things because there are people like you just saw in this video who are out there, and you need to be prepared for that. But once they have all those 10 online training classes and verified by their supervisor, yes, you're done, you're good, you passed all of your 10 classes, then they can go to their less than lethal training. They get handcuff, and all this is ASP, by the way. I do ASP handcuff, ASP baton, and ASP flashlight. So they get certified in those 3 things. And we also have Saber red pepper spray. They get a certificate that they're certified in these things. They have it on their belt, and then they can go to my firearms class. Then they can get the firearm. But we want them to have all these tools on their belt, because if they only have their firearm, what are they going to use? Their firearm, right? They have no other option. We want our people to have these options, to have these steps in place to where they have these options to de-escalate somebody, or if they have to interact with them on a higher level, they're prepared for that. It's just super important. And they also, another thing that when it comes to tools and de-escalation, everybody has to know their use of force continuum. And what is that? It's, for us, it's 6 steps, right? The first step is officer presence. Do I look good? Am I tucked in? Am I clean? Do I have all my gear in the right place, right? That alone right there, somebody walking in and go, wow, look at all these guys with all this stuff on their belt. I'm good. I don't want to do anything here. I'm gonna be good, right? Then it comes number 2, verbal commands, how you talk and interact with people, right? You have to be firm and kind. You can't, waver at all, and you can't act like you're scared at all, right? You have to speak with authority, right? So you have to train your people how to do that as well. Then from there, you go into your tools. If you can't use your brain and your mouth to de-escalate somebody, then unfortunately you have to go a step above that. You have to go to number 3, which is control and restraint. So you're talking hands-on and handcuffs. And then it goes up from there. It goes your pepper spray, your baton and taser, and then your use of deadly force, which we hope we never have to do. But another thing that people have to realize is it's not a ladder. You can jump from one place to the other depending on what you need to do. You only use enough force to stop the threat. Once the threat is stopped, that's it. You're done. You detain the person and you move on, right? So you want to be at the right level of force to deal with that situation, and that all comes back into training as well. And having that on body cam is also super important because it also shows you doing the right thing. So all these things combined together helps your company, helps the officer to de-escalate these situations and to properly defend themselves in these situations as well.
Now,